Now, the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues on Charleston's Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, Charleston, to the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. Just a reminder, those of you that this show airs again Sundays at 10, and we are live today. So the number here in the studio, 843-556-1250, if you'd like to be on the program. But we also have a podcast. You know, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all those fun things. Just do a search for the Brian Beatty Real Estate Team. And if you'd like to reach out to me personally, my number, my cell, is 843-400-8009, 843-400-8009, or visit us online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. So I want to spend the last few minutes here really talking about, again, that kind of continuing this theme of getting serious about selling your house. What do you need to do to get it right the first time? If you're not going to cut any corners, what does that look like? How do we position ourselves for success? So we talked, a little bit about all these ways in which agents can market your property for sale, and the fact that no one's really talking about kind of what happens once that buyer is interested. If a buyer raises their hand on Zillow and says, hey, I'm interested in this property, and that agent doesn't have exclusivity with Zillow, meaning they're the only agent that appears on their own listings, which you would think that would always be the case, but Zillow makes $1 billion plus a year by charging real estate agents to market properties for sale. That's one of the ways they do it, is they attach other agents to individual listings. You have 4 different people that you can choose from as a buyer, all with their own little 5-star rating system and number of past sales and so on and so forth. And so you better hope your listing agent has enough reporting on Zillow and enough of a profile, if they don't have exclusivity in their marketing, to get the phone call. Because if they call Jane Doe that has 100 5-star reviews and 100 recent sales, and your listing agent doesn't, that buyer's probably going to call that other agent, which means that they've put the property on Zillow, but they're just not communicating with the buyers because those buyers are going elsewhere. You want to be able to control the flow of information as much as possible. It would be just like, me signing a listing agreement with a seller and then saying, okay, I'm going to put my sign in the front yard. And by the way, 3 other random agents are probably going to put their sign in the front yard as well. So we're just going to hope that they call us. And the seller's going to say, what in the world are you talking about? That's what's happening now online. And how many more people do you think look at your home online versus driving by the front of your house? And so marketing is a huge thing that I could spend hours and hours and hours on. We haven't really scratched the surface on what we've been doing over the past year, and my director of marketing is here with me right now, and I'd really love to get into some of the things that we're doing with regard to our proactive marketing. We're highlighting, this is for every, and I'm just going to spend a few seconds on this and then I'm going to move on, but for every listing that we are taking now, this is kind of the future of marketing, and to my knowledge, we're the only team in Charleston that's doing this, but for the individual listings that we represent, each home has its unique characteristics and has a set of buyers that we believe are most applicable to that type of home. So maybe, a certain home appeals mostly to people that are moving up, people with growing families, people that are relocating to the area, maybe a second home for somebody. But anyways, all these different groups of people that we feel might work well for that particular listing have defining characteristics, defining demographics, as well as geographics. And then we say, okay, well, if we know who the buyers are and kind of how old they are and what they look like and what they do, how do we know they're interested in real estate? And so that's that question right there, that little puzzle piece, we've spent a long time carving out and figuring out. And we can now confidently say that when we take a listing, we have a company that will help us determine through big data, because, by the way, everything you do online is trackable and sellable to advertisers. It's just like when you go to Amazon and you look at that, whatever it is, but you decide not to buy it, they're going to follow you around online and remind you that, hey, Are you sure you don't want to buy this thing that you looked at but decided not to buy? It's called retargeting. We're doing the same thing, by the way. But we can say, all right, here are the people that we think would be a buyer for this house. I want to know among this group of people who have been active online looking at real estate or displaying behavior online that lead us to believe they're a buyer for that house. Not just because they fit the profile, but because they're displaying behavior that leads us to believe they are interested in moving. And then we're paying to advertise to those people directly. So when people ask the question of, hey, what are you going to do specifically to find buyers for my house? That's the answer. And it's been a game changer for us. It's been so cool to watch this all come together. But that's just one piece of the puzzle, because the property has to be priced appropriately. It has to look really good online, better than the others. I want my properties to be the prettiest girl at the dance. I know I've said that on here before, but that's something that I truly believe in. But not everybody has the money to fix up their house and to make it look like this, this fairy tale home, model home that, maybe they have 3 kids and 2 dogs and both parents work, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen for them to have this perfect model home 24/7. That's fine. We work around it. But as it relates to condition, preparing the home for sale, condition, repairs, staging. I just had a couple that wanted me to walk through their house because they were going back and forth between just selling it as is and taking the money and running, or, hey, do we fix up the property? And if we do, can we actually make more money by doing it that way? And so I sat down with them and said, all right, because I've flipped several homes. I've probably helped people flip, I don't know, between 50 and 75, maybe even closer to 100 at this point. So I know the process, and I've spent millions of dollars of my own money renovating properties, so I know how much things cost. I've written the checks and can speak on that one pretty authoritatively, but they wanted to know, okay, well, if we're going to move forward and renovate this house, what does that look like? Are we going to make money on it? Is it worth the time and the effort? Or should we just sell it as is and price accordingly? And the challenge with looking at things as it relates to condition and for properties is that people don't necessarily take into account the impact or the effect that time has on that mathematical equation. It is not just, okay, well, here's how much things cost to repair. So we're either going to take that off of the asking price, or, if we look at how much it's going to cost to repair it, and this is what similar properties have sold for with those upgrades, if it's going to cost us $10,000, but it's going to help us sell the home for $25,000 more, we've just made $15,000. Is that worth it to me? But if we don't make those repairs and those repairs cost $10,000, does that mean we're going to sell for $10,000 less? No, not necessarily, because now you're asking the buyer to inherit those repairs and deal with that process. So they're likely going to want a discount on their time and the frustration associated with making those repairs. So that's why we walk through properties with our clients. We talk with them about, here are the things that you can do, here are the things that you should do, here are the things that you should not do. Do not spend money on this. Do not, waste your money doing this, that, and the other. I see it far too often from people that call us, and it's too late. The money's already been spent. The checks have already been cashed. But had they waited and had we had a plan, I could have helped them allocate that money elsewhere to make them more money, or just save it entirely and put that in their new home. But that's why we have a professional designer, decorator walk through the house. That's why we offer staging. That's why we do a free pre-listing home inspection. We just want to make sure that we are putting ourselves in the best position possible to sell. And we're going to have to do more and more of that as the market continues to soften. So if you'd like more information on getting your property sold, if you'd like to learn more about what we do to prepare our homes for sale, our free staging, our free pre-listing home inspection, all that we do to market your property and get the property sold, feel free to give me a call. My number is 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009, or visit me online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. And I really appreciate you guys listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. And just a quick shout out to my sponsors. You know, buying a home is one of the largest investments you'll ever make, and there's a lot of people, signature steps, paperwork, and legal considerations. And so whether you're buying or refinancing, you have the right to select your own attorney to make sure your best interests are cared for. And McDonald Law Firm provides mobile closings for your convenience. We use them all the time. And when you're ready to begin, I'd suggest choosing the award-winning McDonald & Associates Law Firm to take care of your home purchase or refinance. Visit McDonaldLawFirm.com for more details. That's McDonnell lawfirm.com, McDonald Law Firm. And thanks so much for listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. You guys enjoy your weekend.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show next Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday morning at 10. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. 843-345-1273.